trying to get at. And I do love, though, in that moment you also get a sense of community where the kid is hesitant to say anything. He doesn't. It feels right away like they're kind of trying to help each other in some regard.
He's already established like a bond with this town in a way that is, like actually
in a way.
Yeah, and it's important, because though Mitchum does confront this guy and he's sort of tough and confident about it, he is still clearly like soft-spoken and has embedded himself. He's not pretending to be this, this entirely other guy. He actually wants to be that guy. He just is like trying to escape something that has followed him, which the other characters are even kind of aware of, because they go, who is this handsome but like mysterious newcomer in town who is in love with obviously the local woman Ann Miller, played by Virginia Hudson, but who refuses to tell anyone his secret past life that he is very clearly on the run from. And it's pretty quickly you find out that it involves a gambling kingpin named Whit Sterling, played by obviously the legendary Kirk Douglas from Ace in the Hole and Paths of Glory and Spartacus. Battle of the butt chins is what you can call this one.
Yeah, and when you see Kirk Douglas too, you get this sense, at least I do, because of how I know him. As he's going to be this like giant star and kind of a main focus of the movie. And he is, in the sense that he's a very important character, and his scenes that he's in are great. And I think he does have this kind of like almost welcoming demeanor in his personality, where he's smiling. He has
an aura about him where he's clearly affable, but like in a way like that you should be scared of him.
Yes, exactly. That's like, I'm smiling at you. As long as everything goes smoothly, you have nothing to worry about. But if
it's
you
a little too long, and it's a little too smug, and there's a little glint in his eye that says, yeah, but I could kill you
at any point. Yeah, and that I think that's perfect for Kirk Douglas, the way he portrays this, that I just using him as well. Now, again, I think this was this not only his like third more major billing at the time, so this was kind of fresh for him in a way.
Yeah, kind of one of the really big star making roles for him as well.
Yeah, really. So that's cool to see that he already has that kind of presence the moment he's there. I think like you right away you kind of get that. So that's very awesome. And right before he's introduced, I did like this one part too, when the one gangster's talking to the waitress in the diner about Bailey, and he says something. He's like, well, I was actually just passing by and I happened to see this Bailey's billboard. And she's like, oh, it's a small world. And he's like, or it's a really big sign. And I like, that's
we'll get into so many of these lines of dialogue. I think the dialogue in this film is unbelievable. I've never written down more lines for a episode that we're about to talk about. Like, I have a whole section of just miscellaneous awesome lines in case we forget to get around to them.
Oh, hell yeah. Because like some of them I've found with noir, and I always love them, all the cleverness and the puns and whatever, it's fun. But sometimes I feel like it's almost like they're trying really hard and there's not necessarily the most meaning behind what they're saying. Sometimes it's really clever, but with this line specifically, for some reason it was like a small world or a big sign. It was like Bailey was kind of advertising his new life in a sense, in a way that he probably shouldn't be if he's trying to lay low. I don't think that comes much within his character as the story progresses, but just that, like, it's a big sign. It's like, how would I not notice that if I was looking for him? I just loved that implication.
Yeah, well, and I think when he first interacts with that guy and, he's trying to not have the conversation in front of the deaf kid, and he asks how far can that kid read lips, and he goes, oh, yeah, I don't know. I'll ask him sometime. And then they get to moving on, and that's not the way to win. Is there a way to win? There's a way to lose more slowly. There's so many lines that we'll get to. The
unveiling too of just like obviously he has a different past. Like when he talks to the guy and he's finally like, there's a different name on that sign though. Like, and he doesn't outright just say it. Like, we don't get the flashback yet, or he doesn't just speak it out loud. You just know that now he knows this man as somebody completely different, and that is intriguing. And so we're just kind of locked into that. And it does get, I think I was reading some of the reviews for when it came out, and some people were saying in the second half it gets a little convoluted, which I think it can, but I also think it's almost it's kind of part of why it works in a way, because of all these moving parts. It's very similar to when we'll talk about with Eddie Coyle. It just feels like all of these things have to be intertwining for the doomed kind of quality of the film to happen eventually.
Well, yeah, because it feels like the movie is more expansive than it is, I think, because of the flashback sequence.
Yeah.
When realistically, all that happens in this movie is like a guy rolls into town saying, hey, we're not done with you yet. And then the movie just slowly constricts around that guy.
Yeah.
And like that is ultimately what it is. And honestly, the flashback sequence is what breaks that up so that it doesn't, I think, just feel like the longest, most punishing. Like, yeah, this guy is just like walking to his death. There's a reason the original book was called Build My Gallows High, you know, and which is obviously a fantastic line he gets to. It like, build my gallows high, baby. He's like, I am willingly going into this relationship knowing that, you know, you're probably this is going to be my death.
Yeah, either you're going to screw me or Wit is going to kill me. It's one of the two.
Yeah, and what I think is so good about this movie is that it spends the whole movie convincing you of why someone would feel that way and why they would make those decisions. And it's why I think the flashback sequence in this film, which is, I forget how long it is, probably like 20, 25 minutes. It's really long. I think it's one of the best sequences of its kind that was done in this era. Like this whole section of him driving with Anne on the car ride back to go and see Wit for the first time in however long it's been.